I am so glad you joined us today here on the Chat Zone. I'm your host, Donna Ritchie, and I am so thrilled to have my special guest here today. It's a friends of mine, and their names are Yvonne and Marquise Jackson. They are a married couple, and they're going to share their story on how they met, what it takes to maintain a happy marriage, and they're going to share their business perspective because they are business people and they are entrepreneurs. So help me welcome Yvonne Jackson and Marquise Jackson. Welcome to the Chat Zone.
Thank you, Don.
It is so good to have you here. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited about our conversation. We were talking before taping, and I'm telling you, we've already done the interview.
Yes.
But to share with our viewers some of the things that you're involved in. You're a business people, and tell us what you're involved in the community.
Well, I am a hairstylist, the owner of a salon, and I work with PBWA, that's Professional Business Leaders Association.
What does that entail?
That entails with the young women that wants to start a career, and we develop them, have them to come out, and we give scholarships once a year. And so we just want to build them up, let them know how they can be developed as a young woman that's in business.
Okay. Marquise, tell us a little bit about what you do in the community.
Well, actually, I just I serve the community for it. I'm a barber. I cut hair, and it's kind of like a hobby to me. But I serve as just being available for the people, the community, to come in and to service them with a haircut or whatever they may need, or if they want to talk, or just whatever they may need.
Okay. Well, now you are doing something that's a little bit unorthodox, and that is you have combined barbering and salon together. And
Yes.
That's a little bit unorthodox back in the day. And how does that work? How does it work between the two of you? Because now you're under the same roof and you're working together as husband and wife.
Well, it's not an open atmosphere. That makes a difference. It's the rooms are sectioned off, and she has her part, and I have my barbershop area where just the barbers cut, and my clients come where I'm at, and so it's good.
Well, now, Yvonne, you tell me this. As a woman, typically when there is a salon, then I wouldn't particularly want a man to see me getting my hair done. Do you ever have that kind of situation?
All the time.
Because see, women, we have a little more hair to deal with than men. So sometimes in the process says sometimes we might look like a scarecrow, or we might look like we stuck our finger in a socket, in the process of getting our hair done. So I wouldn't necessarily want a man to see all of that. You've incurred that kind of situation from time to time.
Oh, definitely. Ladies do not want men to see them before they get their hair done.
Right.
It's funny, but most of the time we have a wonderful time with the ladies, because what happens is they'll come in the salon because we're off distance. If somebody's in the hallway, and they'll say, "Is it clear? I want to use the restroom. Is it clear?" And I'm like, "It's clear," and they'll go back there and go to the shampoo bowl, different rooms,
Now with the men though, you don't have that kind of situation.
No, not at all. They just come in the front door, come straight to my area, and we begin to watch TV and chat. That's basically it.
Well, how does it work between the two of you that you're under the same roof? Because I know you shared that sometimes you'll go in his room and you'll just kind of chit chat with him.
Well, the guys have no problem with it. They'll sit and listen to our conversation. Most of the time it's more enchanting because we're there to laugh a lot. We laugh a lot, have a lot of fun, because he's my friend,
We are one.
Yeah, we're friends.
She comes in now. If I'm busy concentrating on what I'm doing and assisting the client, And, you know, sometimes I'll be like, you know, can I help you?
Right. Is there something you
And
need?
she would notice, she noticed me, and she picks it up, she'll just ease on back out, you know.
Mhm.
Just like I notice her, if I go over in her area and she's doing a lady's hair,
Mhm.
you know, it's like I may be wanting some time, but she's assisting the client, you know, and she wouldn't even, a lot of times she won't talk or something like that, and I pick up the spirit and I just ease on out to move somewhere else, you know. It's just unique. It's just a unique thing.
Yeah.
And it's nothing bad, you
Yeah.
know. It's just.
I think too, when you work together, not only when you work together, but when you're a couple, there is a language between the two of you that you don't have to open your mouth and say anything, but you can look at each other, and there is a language that no one understands but the two of you.
Exactly.
Right.
And that
Exactly.
sounds like what
Right.
has happened in this
Yes,
situation.
exactly.
You just kind of know when, it's like, okay, you can stay, or this is not the best time to stay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you're parents as well.
Yes.
Right.
And how does all of that work together? Your business people, your parents, your husband and wife. How do you keep all of that together?
It's a new thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. It's exciting, new experience, because I met my wife, 5 years ago. Well, actually, I met her in 2003, not
Yeah.
knowing,
Yeah.
but since we've been married, I accepted her kids, as my kids, and I don't have any biological kids, but it's just been an exciting journey. Um, it's
We have grands.
Yeah, and now we have grands.
Wow.
We have two grands. We have a 3-year-old and
One.
a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're it's like in the beginning before I met my wife, I was you know I didn't really want any kids, and but I talk to my father-in-law all the time, which is my wife's dad, and he's like, well, if it's something that's ordained for your life, you're going to go through it one way or another. So it's like, I kind of put that in perspective, and I was like, wow. So I said, okay, I just relax, enjoy the ride. Lord, help me to be all that I can be. Help me to learn to be a dad. Help me learn to be a husband. Help me learn to be a granddad, Or just help
And
me
you
here.
seem to be
Yeah.
doing such a
Yeah.
fantastic
Yeah.
job. So he gives you the grace to do it.
Exactly.
And I am so enjoying this conversation. We're going to get a little bit deeper into the relationship part. So you don't want to go away. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. Thank you for watching the Chat Zone. We'll be right back.
Looking for a professional painter and drywall contractor? Then look no more. Colores is licensed and insured and will make sure your home is beautiful, whether you want the whole house painted on the outside or just 2 rooms inside. No job is too big or small. Contact Colores Painting at 704-320-5736. That's 704-320-5736.
The Affordable Care Act has had over 7 million people sign up for it this year alone. One of the biggest things is that people are saving money for themselves, for their families, and for their future. By doing this, you want to make sure that you understand how the plan works for you. So definitely feel free to give Mondes Thomas a call with AmeriLife and Health Services, and we'll go over all of your various options with you. My phone number is 704-728-5075. If you have any questions, no matter how big or small, I'll be glad to answer them for you.
Hi, we're Mozart's Pharmacy at 1711 Central Avenue. We invite you to come in and visit with us because we don't only deliver, but we care. We're caregivers as well. And we make sure our people are in compliance with their medicines and taking their medicines and helping them to straighten out. And we consult with our pharmacists 24/7. And please come and visit us at Mozart's Pharmacy.
Are you tired of being sick, Try our amazing alkaline water. Come visit us at the Water Depot, 3312 Highway 21, Unit 102, Fort Mill, South Carolina 29715, or visit us online at donnaritchie.com or unforgettablewater.com. Change your water, change your health. Thank you for tuning in to the Chat Zone.
We're talking with a very good friend of mine, Yvonne and Marquise Jackson, and we're talking about, before the commercial break, we were talking about them being business people and entrepreneurs, and then we kind of got a little bit into how they met. So now we want to kind of get into, how do you make your relationship work? Because you all have been married for 5 years. I say that you sound like seasoned married people, because there are a lot of things that you all have gone through, or just the communication part. I feel like you sound like seasoned married people. So again, tell us how you met. You met back in 2003.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we met in 2003 at the salon.
Mm-hmm.
Our son introduced us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I was cutting their hair
Mm-hmm.
ever since they were kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they grew up. I watched them grow up, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I was looking to better my business and move to a more um, high traffic area
Mm-hmm.
with my business. And um, the oldest boy, he said that my mom was looking for a barber. I was like, oh yeah, really? And he
Did you
said,
know who his mom was?
no, I knew he had a mom, but I didn't know her because that wasn't really
Right.
a factor. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You know, I was like, oh well, really? You know, and he's like, yeah. I said, well, when can you set it up? When can I meet her? Or, you know, when can we get together? And he said, well, I'll let her know. And he got back with me the following week and said, you know, my mom said we can, you know, she wants to meet with you um, a certain day at a certain time. And I said, okay. So I went to Rock Hill and we met up at the salon and barber shop, and she toured me around the area and showed me the different rooms and everything. And it was good. It
Mm-hmm.
was good. I was more up on the place, so you know, just you know, I was feeling good. You know, I was like, I'm moving up. You know,
Right.
I'm gonna make some more money. I'm gonna
Right.
work. You know, I was more excited about my lifestyle and my business. You know, more so than you know her. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I was thankful that I was thankful that she took the time to want to interview me and to show me around, and you know, and it was good.
What were you thinking, Yvonne?
Ah, well, that's a little difference in our ages with that matter, but
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that this young man wanted to do something in his life, and
Mm-hmm.
we've come together, and because I know my son respected him so much, both
Mm-hmm.
my boys respected him. 'Cause I did not know him,
Mm-hmm.
my dad, he brought them to him when they were young, so I was like, okay, that's fine, let him come because he can run that barber shop because during that time it was the laws was separate,
Mm-hmm.
and so he came to the shop, and I let him look around and everything. And I said, well, tell him to give you a call back if he wanted to come,
Mm-hmm.
and how that. And he has been in the family for a long time, and I'm the only one that did not know him.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I mean,
Uh-huh.
my sisters knew him, and my brothers, they knew him, and the boys knew him. I'm going, like, how come I didn't know you?
Mm-hmm.
So we began to bond as a friendship. We just began to, bond a lot, in the salon, talk about the children, the boys, how they would con me with the money I would give them,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that it wasn't the correct price. But
So was he working in the shop
he
that
was working
particular
in the
time?
shop he was working in the shop when we would laugh about the boys. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then, how did you know as a couple or as friends that this is the one? That she was the one when you made that connection to say, relationship.
Well, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was all of a sudden type inner feeling
Mm-hmm.
that came over me once we were um, maybe so many months into business relationship
Mm-hmm.
and working at the shop, and having time to communicate, to feel one another out, and different, her relationships and things that she was going through, things that I was going through, and where I was trying to go, where she wasn't trying to go, and just different things like that. And it just happened. I don't know where it came from. It was just a God given thing, And I was like, wow, really? And I'm like, oh. And then but the funny thing about it was when I was in transition to move to Rock Hill to go to that salon to start over or to better my business. A lot of people were like, well, we know what you're doing, and you doing this and that. I know what your objective is. You running up there behind that woman.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, it's like I had to really blot all that out because God knows my mindset was on bettering my business.
Right.
And I kept telling myself, well, Lord, no matter what the older guys and a lot of people were saying, what they thought I was after or whatever the case may be, I blotted all that out. But then not knowing, because I never gave it a thought, but at some point, the thought came, and I was like, nah, really?
Yeah.
And it just happened.
How did you know, Yvonne?
The first time I realized it was, this is really funny because he had a girlfriend, and we had been talking about everything. He and I could just do things and just laugh out loud and just cut up crazy because we thought we was like family because of him knowing my family so well. So we would cut up so bad. And so one day when he had his girlfriend in there, I seen him with her and how he communicated with her, and I was like, wow, I think I need to pull back because I shouldn't be feeling this way with him having a relationship with someone else. I need to, pull back. And I begin to pull back and, from him, and I say, we can't be friends like this because it's not good for you to have a relationship with someone and I be there, like we get so close like this. I say, I think we should just pull back. And I began to back off of him a lot. And the more I back off of him, it's like the more he was like, I don't want to lose this friendship. You know what I'm trying to say? And so we just got closer. And as we got closer, we began to communicate more, and I tried to do things to help his relationship out with the young lady. And I don't think he was feeling that, and so it happened. He wasn't feeling it. And, so I say, well, we're going to have to separate. So we begin to sort of sever a little bit and start doing things, focus on business, but I kept finding myself being inclined to him. And, and I was like, okay, now I got lumps in my throat and, all kind of things like that because I'm like, I think I'm falling for him, and I'm hoping not, but I'm falling for him. And so it happened like that, and I sort of knew. And what I really liked about him was he stood up to me. I was doing things because I had now been, single, and now I'm like my little own lady, being my own entrepreneur and in business, and just having that little confidence in myself as being a lady out there doing my own thing. And he put me in my place because I'm bringing snacks to his salon, over to the barbershop, and he comes to the room and he says,
well, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
And hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Thank you for watching the Chat Zone. We'll be right back. Looking for a professional painter and drywall contractor? Then look no more. Colores is licensed and insured and will make sure your home is beautiful whether you want the whole house painted on the outside or just 2 rooms inside. No job is too big or small. Contact Colores Painting at 704-320-5736. That's 704-320-5736. Are you tired of being sick? Try our amazing alkaline water. Come visit us at the Water Depot, 3312 Highway 21, Unit 102, Fort Mill, South Carolina 29715, or visit us online at DonnaRitchie.com or unforgettablewater.com. Change your water, change your health. Thank you for tuning in to the Chat Zone.
Yvonne, I'm going to let you continue on what you were saying. How did you know that that Marquise was the one?
One day he came into the salon, and I was saying that I had put snacks in the barber shop, and he came into the door. He said, "What is this doing here?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What this doing here?" And I say, "I thought maybe your client may want snacks, and I brought those in there because maybe you could probably, use the snacks and get a little extra petty cash, in the salon." And he says, "Excuse me, but if I wanted it, I would have told you if I wanted that. I went and got it for myself." So when he said that, I was like, "Whoa, he is standing up to me." And to me, it was like I respected him for doing that because a lot of times men has a tendency to not let women know how they really feel inside about things. And when he did that, my respect gained for him. Say, okay, he put me in the place that I need to be in. So I began to have respect for him, and we got closer and closer. And I see that he always respect me, and he always made sure that I stayed in my place. But he respected me on what I did.
And you're a very strong woman, and so I just want to say, even if you're a strong woman, and usually opposites attract, but opposites can attack as well. But you have to know your lane, I think, and their lane as well, the good, the bad, and the challenging.
Yes.
And you had to know when to just kind of buckle down and say, "Oh wow, he kind of put me in check." And some people don't like to be put in check, but there is a certain kind of check that you're like, okay, I know I need to be put in check, so I'm okay with that. But you've been married for 5 years. How do you make it work? What are some key factors that you really use in your relationship?
Communication, prayer, uh, uh, just communication and prayer, and we get along great.
We laugh a lot. We laugh a lot.
All lines of communication are open. Nothing is hidden. I mean, I know sometimes, it's good to say some things. It's good not to say some things. She shouldn't tell me everything, or I shouldn't tell her everything. But a lot of times we find ourselves just being open like that in communication to make sure that she understands me and I understand her. Until if something that we don't understand, we converse about it until, oh, that's what you mean, and then vice versa, and it works,
How does that work for you, Yvonne?
I think that he knows me and he listens a lot. He listens a lot, and he just naturally sort of pick up knowing how I am, and he don't argue with me a lot about anything. He accepts me for just who I am, and he just sort of know how to maneuver. Even when we have those bad moments, sometimes he even know how to cultivate me when I have those bad moments. He.
Now, how do you know though when to? Because you had said before that you like to love on your wife, but how do you know when to do it and when not to?
Well, a lot of times I don't, and it's a lot of trial and error. Because like a lot of times, there are times where it don't work. Whoop, and then a lot of times it does work. We may be going through or having some kind of discrepancies or disagreements, or I may know how far to go or how far not to go. And sometimes I push the limit, and when I see it happening, I grab her and I love her, or I'll just joke it, and just throw a monkey wrench in there and just disrupt the chaos and bring it around till we both laugh, and it's like
it just breaks it's kind of like it breaks the ice.
Yes,
it breaks the ice of chaos
yes.
that could potentially happen in your relationship.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
And it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen perfectly. It's just an everyday walk of life. It happens and it don't happen.
I think too in relationship you have to know the climate of your relationship between the two of you,
Right.
let alone in your house or in your just your own space. You have to know the climate of like where your husband is or where your wife is climatically wise.
Yes.
In order to communicate with them, whether it's verbally or physically, you know, you have to know that, and that comes from being together, spending time together,
Right.
you know, and so let me ask you this too, because you two work together, do you ever find yourself bringing work home?
Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. But it doesn't get into a discrepancy to where um, we are gossiping. A lot of times we stay connected to the spiritual realm or spiritual side, and we'll go and pray for people, or you know, at that aspect. You know, we don't get into any kind of negativity. Um, but a lot of times we don't bring it home. You know, and it's good.
Okay. What are some goals that you all have in mind? Like 5, 10 years from now, where do you want to see yourself in your marriage, in your life?
I want to see us at probably a new location, you know,
Yeah.
travel a little more than we have.
Yeah.
I always just ask him, I want to pinch him sometime because it's like, is this real? You know, is this real? Because, you know, I have been married before, you know, and to have him there in my life, it's like, he has the best of knowing how to make a woman feel, you know, how to make me feel. He knows me well. He's learned me well, and that's what it takes in order for him to be able to know who I am, in order to get along with me, and he takes that time to do that.
That's good. That's good. What would you say, just in like 10 seconds, what would you say to those that are married that may be going through a chaotic situation? What are some encouraging words you can say to them just in 10 seconds?
I would say just sit down, get together, and start over, and learn to get to know one another and listen. Take the time to listen and see where you may have the accident. Start from the heart. Start from the heart. The soul part of you. Start from the heart. And you can sort of erase a lot of things in your life.
Well, I want to personally thank you all for being a part of the Chat Zone. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I know that people will benefit from it. I have benefited from it. And I hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. So on behalf of the Chat Zone, myself, Donna Ritchie, we'll see you later, this time, same time next week.